I really think I was living in victimhood. I really do believe. And it's in
Mhm.
that victimhood that it was making me sick, like, and make these decisions based out of a I can't attitude. I gained
Wow.
70 pounds with my son. 70 pounds. I believe that things do happen to people. They are victims of situations, but those situations are opportunities to change and shift and become.
What's going on, everybody? Today, I have Warrior Babe Amber here with us. And before Warrior Babe, she knew that she wanted more for herself. She knew she wanted more strength, more confidence, and a version of herself that felt unstoppable. But it wasn't until a single moment of clarity that she realized she had work to do. She didn't just want to change, she wanted to be committed to the journey. She didn't just want change, she wanted to be committed to it too as well. And that's when she found Warrior Babe. She's now leaner, she's now stronger, and she's thriving in ways that she never imagined. And today we're going to into her story. Amber, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Can you just share with like the listeners, where are you from? How old are you? And what do you do for work?
I am in southern Oklahoma, and I just turned 50 December 7th of last year. Woo, 50!
Let's go. Big
I'm
50.
50!
Hey.
I'm 50! And let's see, what was the last part of that question? Sorry.
What do you do for work?
Oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, nice. How many
Yeah.
kiddos do you have?
I have two of my own, 10 years apart. One's 28, one's going to be 18 next month, and then I have two stepchildren. So,
Oh,
yeah,
my
yeah,
heart. That's how old are
yeah.
the stepchildren?
Do what? Oh, 28 and 22, 23.
Oh, cool. So
Somewhere
they're
in there.
all in
Yeah.
like the little like 18
Up.
to 28.
Yeah. So now it's like I'm moving into my own now. It's like a whole different lifestyle, learning to let go of what I
Oh,
was doing, right? I'm transitioning into a new phase of my life. And this couldn't have come at a better time for me,
oh,
honestly.
that's so exciting. Well, I can't wait to
Yeah.
dive into your story. Let's start with where you were. Like, what was your fitness, your health and fitness like before joining Warrior Babe?
Well, I have been an athlete literally all of my life. I feel like I came out of the womb as an athlete. My mom has stories of me running down the hall doing a front flip at 2 years old, landing on my feet.
Oh, I
Just
love that.
constant, like I'm an athlete. Well, I injured my knee my senior year and it mentally messed with me. And
Mm.
I instantly knew in that moment that, or I thought, let me say, that my life as I knew it was over because I was never going to be able to function the same way. I tore my ACL, waited 10 years to get it repaired, got severe arthritis in the right knee, and I really leaned into that limitation as if it was real. Truly, I did.
Mm.
But never paying attention over time that it's just an obstacle to pivot around, right? Instead of it controlling me, I could work with it. And so I had my second daughter in 2007, and I stepped on the scale in probably 2009. I hadn't done that in a long time. And someone had said to me, asked me, when are you going to have, are you pregnant? Are you going to have a baby? And it crushed me because I wasn't pregnant,
Oh
right?
no.
It killed me. And so I started contemplating. As much as it hurt, it allowed me to start contemplating on myself and how, the trajectory of my life and how, I was not giving myself the love that I needed. And I stepped on the scale and it was 199. And I thought, holy cow.
How tall are you?
Whoa.
Just for context.
5'11". So
Okay.
that doesn't seem like, I mean, it is. When
That's a lot.
I was 21 and I got pregnant with my son, I was 123. I was undernourished, as we understand what undernourished, so many people
Oh,
are undernourished, right? I gained
wow.
70 pounds with my son. 70 pounds like that.
Wow.
It was like I let go and allowed myself to be fed, but not in the right ways,
Hmm.
not in the right ways. And then I had my daughter, and then I saw 199, and I thought something's got to change. And it was a very important moment because I thought I cannot hit 200. I cannot do it. And so I started making changes. They were not the healthiest. I just started paying attention to the doable thing. What's the doable thing I can change? And I had a philosophy of this for that. And so I replaced this with that. and it was just the doable steps. And soon it turned into, wow, I've lost like 20 pounds.
What were you
Like I
doing
was
when you were
doing great.
replacing this with that? Like what were you
It
taking?
wasn't the healthiest things, but I would stop eating the normal things I would eat. I would go, I did what I knew to do, which was go to the store, go to like Lean Cuisines in the freezer section,
Okay.
and okay, eat some more vegetables. Don't eat as much, slow down your eating, those kind of things. Just kind of started listening to myself, and
Mm,
eliminated pop out of my life, soda, and replaced it with water. And so then I started diving into information and data. I'm a huge data junkie. I want to know the data. And so I learned and learned and learned and learned. And then I jumped, let's see, I hit about 175 and I just plateaued. I
mm,
could not get below it. And then I started to have hormonal changes, and this is kind of where we start to transition into the story of how did I find Warrior Babes. But I can give a little more detail of the things I had done prior, just like the eating, but also joining programs. Like I joined CrossFit. I joined exercise things, thinking it was going to be exercise that really changed it. And it was
yeah.
very beneficial. But then I started realizing, well, it must be what I'm eating, because I was also rewind to that time, in 2009, when I was 199, I started having blood pressure issues. I was having emotional issues. I was on antidepressants. I was on high blood pressure medicine. I was just doing all of these things that it's kind of the go-to of,
Mm,
like, well, this will help you. Take this thing out here and it's going to fix you. And I really benefited temporarily from those things, but they have limitations and they have other side effects that go with them. So I really made a decision to get really super healthy in my life and start supplementing, eating cleaner, eating organic. I got off the blood pressure medicine. I got off of the antidepressants. I
mm.
I went to a functional medicine doctor, got my labs run, and we are sitting at a really good place health wise. My labs are really great, but I did programs like Eat to Perform, which was about metabolism, and I learned a lot in that journey, but they're no longer around. And
Mm.
I actually stopped using them when I decided to go with Warrior Babes. So I tried Weight Watchers. I did, I did Richard Simmons.
Name them
I would,
all. Name
Jane
them all.
Fonda. I did it all. Like I mean, I cannot tell you like how many different things I tried. The thing about it, I was reading a book by Dr. Stacy Sims. I think it's called Roar, and she's like, women are not small men. And I was like, okay.
What was your biggest takeaway that with that statement?
It's like, I was like, you know what? Everything that I've been doing and every bit of information I've been digesting really kind of feels like it's geared towards that. It's geared towards young, maybe college age men. Now, when I was young, my body functioned a little more like that. It kind of was like, oh, it kind of works. And then it didn't. It was almost like counterproductive to go
Mm-hmm.
hard at CrossFit. And I'm like, why am I puffy? 5 days a week, teaching dance fitness and going to CrossFit. And it's like, what's happening?
I want to unpack a little bit
Okay,
of the things that you said
sure.
there. One, because I think that this or that was a pretty wild method that you did for yourself to just try and gain some type of control, like for you to get back to being healthy. And you had that big profound moment of like, well,
Hmm.
195, this is way too much for me.
Too
But
much.
even just to have that recognition of like, okay, I need to remove some things to give me more healthier things. You lost 20 pounds. I just want to like highlight that because you seeing that and doing that for yourself is so hard for some people to do in general. And if there could be a takeaway
Mm,
here right now, right, even if people don't want to invest in a program or look to do things like
right.
easily just removing things out of their home to, to get healthier is huge.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's you should be so proud of
Thanks.
yourself for that start
Well,
right
thank you.
there for sure. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a philosophy I share with everybody. It's like you think you can't do something, you really can. And I say
Yeah.
find the doable yes within your body. Find the
Love that.
doable yes, pick it and replace it with something that you know in your heart feels better than what you were doing.
Love that.
Like taking a big huge step into something, it often leads to failure. if you are not truly dedicated. So, like, if you're just starting out the journey, it's like one step. What can you do? What can you do? And do that. And then
Amen.
soon it turns into a thousand things that led into a big thing. And it's really, it's my philosophy in life, really.
I love that. That's a great
Yeah.
philosophy, and I hope those that are listening to this can tag on to that.
Yeah.
Something I want to also pull out from what you said is the programs that you tried. You tried so many, and you were doing CrossFit, and you were doing dance classes, and you were working out how many days a week? 5, 6 days a
Five,
week?
six.
And how
And
many?
that's like twice a day, maybe three times a day. I was burning 1,300 calories at doing dance fitness in a day.
And how old were you
And
at this stage?
oh, I was probably 44, 45.
Okay, and so this is where you started like are you through menopause now, or are you post
No,
premenopause?
not all the way. Pre,
Not all the
yeah.
way.
Hmm.
Pre. So
Hmm.
this was the time where you mentioned that you were noticing some hormones to start shifting, and you recognize that, like, from that, what Dr. Stacy Sims says is like what once worked for you back in your 20s and 30s is not really doing the job anymore when you're getting into
No.
your 40s, and you know now you're the big 50. So
Yes, yeah.
yeah, and so with that working out and burning 1,300 calories, how much food do you think you were eating on a day back then?
Not even enough. Not even enough. Get this. I decided I was going to do keto in the middle of it. Like, no carbs, really? That's pretty smart. That's real smart. And I'm getting puffier and puffier and achier and more tired, no sleep. I'm just like, oh, what's wrong? And it wasn't listening to myself at all. I was taking the advice I had seen all around me
Mm.
from videos. Also, that's on me too, because I wasn't, but at the same time, I didn't know. I
You
didn't
didn't know,
understand.
right?
Yeah.
See, what I want to pull out here is, okay, so you were dealing with those struggles. You weren't listening to yourself, but you were puffy and you were tired and you were aching and you were like pretty much like
Yeah.
falling apart, right? And then
Yeah, I was.
irritable, moody because you weren't feeding yourself and you weren't recovering well.
No.
Dealing with those types of struggles, how did that make you feel physically, and like how would that make you feel physically and mentally?
Oh, like, what's this all for? What's the point?
Mm,
That's what it felt like. It's like, what are you doing this for?
mm,
Oh, it must not be meant for you. A healthy lifestyle must not be meant for you. You're doing all the right things. You're doing all the things that it says to do, exercise hard. And I see it all around me now that I know. I see everybody doing that thing that they've been told and programmed. This is
mm,
how you get there. This is how, and sometimes I have to bite my tongue because I realize it's just not for everybody right now where they are. But it's like you really don't have to go so hard and you'll get better results. Not like this. There's a different energy behind it. It's like it's forcing it versus allowing it. Listening and
mm.
moving with what feels right and just allowing instead of forcing. It's a huge
Amen.
change, a huge shift. It's
Amen.
huge. Yeah.
Amen. I love
Yeah.
how you said that, it's just not for them right now in their journey, but it's crazy to
Mm.
think how many people are programmed to just in condition to follow this new diet, follow this new program,
Yeah.
January 1, let's eat
Oh
healthier, but
yeah.
let's change a
Yeah.
hundred things at once. Like, and we're still here. And that's like,
Still doing it.
yeah.
But it's like it eventually they'll get the answer. So I follow Dr. Joe Dispenza like mm, he's my man. 3 years.
Love him.
3 years changed my life, right? And you can either change because of crisis or you can change before crisis.
Hmm.
And I lost my dad in 2023, March of 2023. It's interesting because almost a year later is when I joined Warrior Babes. But he died from diabetes. And I watched him, and as I watched him, his life story, the positives and the negatives, I took it on and I said, "You're showing me through your life how to do more for myself." And I did tell him that. I was like, "Dad, I'm listening to you. I am listening to you." Because he 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 kind of felt like he wished he would have known sooner. He wished he would have paid attention sooner. And then the crisis hit. And I'm telling you, he was driven. Even when crisis hit, he started doing the right things. And I thought, why can't I? When I heard Dr. Joe say that, I was like, why can't I do it before crisis? before crisis. Feel, and it
Mm,
requires feeling and being present in your life and sensing your body and sensing, you know. And so that's really it for me. Yeah, like
yeah,
listening to my body is the most important right now,
yeah,
for me.
yeah. Okay, let's segue into how you found Warrior Babe. What was going on? I know you mentioned Joe
Yeah.
Dispenza, and I know,
Mhm.
go ahead, share that story.
This is my favorite story to tell. I'm a huge believer in manifestation. I'm a huge believer in changing your life and becoming the creator of your life versus living in victimhood. I believe that things do happen to people. They are victims of situations, but those situations are opportunities to change and shift and become. And so he taught me that truly. Like I really think I was living in victimhood. I really do believe. And it's in
Mm,
that victimhood that it was making me sick. Like it's part of what made me sick, and make these decisions based out of a I can't attitude, really. And so
mm,
I started doing the work of Dr. Joe, and I was at a retreat in Marco Island. It's called an AFU. It's a 4-day meditation retreat. I was so dedicated. It was like I went to 4 retreats in one year, uh,
mm,
2 7 days and 2 4 days, and I was at Marco Island, and it was in 2023. November, I believe. Maybe no, it was January. Sorry, January. And he said, "We're going to be doing our first ever 10-day retreat in Cancun." And I went, and I went, oh. I imagined myself on the beach as I was,
mm.
and I went, "No way."
Was this when you were 195 around that time?
No, no, I was
Maybe
still
175?
175, but I was puffy, and I just could not imagine. My abdomen was, inflamed, and I just could not imagine. I wanted to, I was
What
like,
were you,
oh, oh.
yeah, what
And
were
then I
you
went,
feeling in that moment, like within your
in
own?
that moment, it was a split second of victimhood. Just, and I went, oh, and I went, no, look where you are. You're at a meditation. This is your chance. This is your moment to create.
Yeah.
And it really was in my mind, it's so interesting what I'm learning from that experience too. In my mind, it was Cancun that I wanted. In my mind, the story was the thing I wanted.
Mm,
And so then I found out it was going to be the week of my 50th birthday. And I sat at that retreat in a meditation, and I was like, I am going to allow the best potential for myself to come into my life to succeed. I'm not going to force it. I'm going to sit and wait. And when it arrives, I'm going to know it.
ooh,
And
the chills.
yeah, and so like 2 months later, I'm scrolling through Facebook, and your face and your videos, and you're talking about women over 40, and you have this great attitude, and you're talking, and I'm like, okay, I feel it. It's like this energy surge in my body. I'm like, oh, is this it? Is this it? So I dug in, and I saw you talking about hormonal changes and how you have one-on-one coaching, and it's about women and hormones and metabolism and eating right and body composition. And I'm like, oh, yes, yes, yes. And I thought, don't hesitate, do it now. Because there's this thing where we will say yes, and then we'll hesitate, and then the energy kind of slides by. It's not that it won't come back around, but I was like, this is my moment. And I enrolled, and I loved so many things about it because I could tell by the wording and the way that it was said that this is going to keep me in the driver's seat of my life. This isn't about
Mm,
becoming subservient to something. It was like, I am going to be able to stay in the driver's seat of my life and have the true knowledgeable guidance and direction that I need from qualified professionals that will assist me in transitioning my life into what I desired. So that's really how it happened. And I had a lot of things down in terms of macros and how to get the protein in. I had that down. And that was just because of my own studying and learning and experimentation. So what Warrior Babes really provided for me was the knowledge of women over 40. And I'm not talking somebody that just went on the internet and read something. Like these are like my coach is truly educated, not just on nutrition and exercise, but leadership. Like she genuinely, I don't know how to describe this. I've looked for this all of my life. I'm telling you, in every avenue that I've been in, CrossFit, group fitness classes, um, I've looked for that person who I consider to be the inspiration and leader that is guiding me into that position for myself.
Mm,
And not to always be the one above me looking down on me.
mm,
And and, and I know the nuances of it. The verbiage is like it's just so different. There's not a belief in the person. They can't speak positive things to the person, how amazing they are. They can only do corrective criticism, or you're not doing this right. There's not this uplifting, supportive kind of feel. And my coach Sarah is that 100%. Like sometimes on my video check-ins, I'm like, girl, I'm gonna play this in the background all day long. She'll
oh,
say stuff like, well, I want to be like you, Amber. When I grow up, I want to be like you. Like she's amazing. She is so amazing. I love her.
she
She's
truly
like,
is.
and she gives the best advice, and she does not like, she truly doesn't, I don't know how to say this other than she doesn't see herself as better. She sees herself as having data and a neutral position, essentially. I'm in a
Mm,
neutral position to watch and observe you, and you can just allow me to tell you when I see you're kind of, looks like you're slacking a little bit.
yeah.
What's going on? And it's not just, oh, you're weak. It's not that. What's going on? Are you tired? What is it? This isn't you. I know you. You're capable. You're strong.
Mm,
It's just everything that I ever desired. Not to mention, the ladies that I've met, in the group, but I always visualized leadership and community. I always see it in a visual, like it's at a round table where people are facing each other and everybody comes to the table with something to offer, and nobody's at the head and everybody's leading. It's kind of like Dr. Joe philosophy. It's like, it's like everybody's leading. They're all the creators of their life, and that's what I'm getting here. This is
yeah.
exactly what I'm getting here.
Oh man, that was so profound in terms of from start to finish of
Thank
how
you.
you, yeah, of how you initially were in, at the retreat and you just had a vision for yourself, but you didn't allow the victimhood or like, anything to be externally responsible for where you were. You sat in that and you took on the challenge of, no, I'm stepping into the next best version of myself and I'm going to wait and see what comes and what happens. And then the ad pops up on
It was
Facebook
crazy. I couldn't believe
because
it.
you were ready. You were ready at that point. Like
Yes,
you didn't
I
allow yourself.
was.
Had you fallen back into, oh no, I can't. Like I can't do that. I don't feel good in my body. That you would
No,
have
I would,
just
and
continued to have circumstances in your external world support those thoughts.
right. Yes.
And
Yes,
you
100%. The funny thing is, Nikki, though, listen, I didn't go to Cancun. It was the body I wanted. It wasn't the story. That's not to say, I mean, it came up, like registration came up, and I'm like, I already got what I want. It
let's
was the
go.
body, right? It's something very interesting about, I have a story that I write, and I utilize it as a way to push myself or degrade myself.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and it's like Cancun, yes, you can. Oh, no, you can't. You're fat, you're fluffy, you're that. And then it
You're
was
the
this moment
dead.
of opportunity to reset and go towards creator instead of victimhood. And not to say Cancun won't come again because I might, but the energy's around what I am
You,
today. I
you literally.
literally can't. I can believe it. I shouldn't say I can't. I can believe it, but it just blows me away. It blows me away.
As it should.
I didn't know I knew what I was capable of, but I did not understand. I surpassed what I envisioned. I
Mm.
surpassed it. And I'm not, there's no end goal. It's like milestones now.
What I like to say is that you believe in manifestation. Same here. I believe in God or a higher power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what he'll do for you is you have expectations for yourself, but he'll blow them out of the water with something so much better and
Time.
more
Every time.
every
Every
time.
time.
That
Yeah.
you just said
And
it. So
to be having this interview with you is also a part of the desire within me that I wanted to be the testimony, because the testimonies are the thing that make people believe. They're the 4 minute mile, right? One person does it, I
mm,
do it, you know? And it's
totally.
like I truly wanted to do something that I consider to be great because so many people inspired me to do that. And then to turn around and inspire others to their greatness and their capability. It's truly
It's
full
God's work.
circle. And I
Full
want more of
circle.
it and more and more and more. I want to do it more and more because it feels like I'm just standing in love all the time. I don't know, like every time I think about this story, it just feels like love to me. It's like it's really what it's all about,
A
the
hundred
giving and the
percent.
sharing and the becoming, the giving, the sharing, and the becoming. Yeah,
A
yeah,
100%. Everything is
yeah,
love. Love people,
yeah,
love God, everything.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
when you started Warrior Babe, what stood out from everything else that you've tried? Like, what was the initial like, oh man, like, what made it stand out from everything you've tried?
It was to focus on women over 40. It was truly that. It was also your word choices. The the way I don't know how to describe it other than it felt like real support. It felt
Mm,
like you're going to stay in the driver's seat, but also I want to talk about the price, okay? Because if you're
yeah,
willing to
sure.
pay the price, literally, you will stay committed. You will stay focused on your dedication to yourself and following through. It was super important to me. I will show people this program and be like, that's expensive. I'm like, your life is worth it. Your life is worth it. Trust me when I tell you. I've not found anything like it personally out there.
Mm.
I truly mean that. I have not found anything like it. And I'm staying for another round. I'm almost like, is there going to be a lifetime membership opportunity? Because it's
That's a good
like,
idea. Well, I mean, there's lifers in here. Been here for 2 years, 3 years. Some of them have been here for 4 years. So
just
yeah.
because it's
Oh, I
like
love
it's
to hear
always
that.
going to be involved. But another thing about Sarah is she can feel into me in a sense because she's that neutral observer too. And it's like, I really think you could be a coach. I really think you should go get your nutrition certification. She knows me so well. She's like, she just knows me so well. And she's like, I think you would be great at it. I know you would be. And
Yeah.
just these positive affirmations that she genuinely feels from her heart, it's just worth so much to me.
Love to hear. I love that you explained her to earlier in terms of words of encouragement rather than words of being like put down, like over top,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
almost in a control mechanism instead of being like, nah, you got this. I see you and you can do better and
Yeah.
encouraging you to take the control rather than like feeling like you're
Yeah.
belittled, essentially.
Yeah. She does. She just absolutely, and I'm this way too. So I really see it. I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
She believes in people. She doesn't see anything but the capability. And
Yeah.
I've been there. I understand when somebody isn't lining up with it and you just really, and it's like she's already moved past that little phase where you have to really quit trying to force people. Like she really knows what she's doing in terms of like, you can't make somebody want to be there,
Yep.
but as long as you hold them there in your mind, the potential is always there for them to rise to who they are every time.
1000%.
Yeah.
1000%. So, when you first joined Warrior Babe, let's go there. I know you talked a lot about the program, what stood out to you. How about like what were your thoughts when you first started? Like you came in and you talked to the enrollment advisor and then you talked to one of our customer success reps that got you to get to Sarah. And then from Sarah, I know you went on like a retrain and then you went up and were increasing your calories. What were your initial thoughts out of the gate when you joined?
I honestly, I thought this is what I need because I was really putting a lot of mental energy into figuring out what I should be eating,
Mm,
how I should be eating, what's the programming for today. And so it gave me an opportunity to just let someone do that for me for a little while
heck
so that
yeah.
I could put my energy on becoming.
Love that. And you just
Yeah.
took the guesswork out of it and just did the plan follow.
Yes, it's just like and now I'm at a place where I've gotten into the rhythm and habit of things, and now I
Mm.
really want to know the how. How do you figure macros? How?
Yeah,
You know?
I
Yeah, like
love that
how? Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I'm there and I know like there's just this energy around me of capability that used to not be there. Like I really know I'm capable of anything I put my mind to. I am absolutely certain of it.
Heck yeah. Let's go.
Finding what it is that I'm wanting to do takes some time for me sometimes, but uh once see it, it's like a lightning bolt. It's like nothing's going to stop me at
Let's
all.
go.
And that's how
Yeah.
Warrior Babes, when I saw that video, I'll never forget it. I just casually looking and it's like, it felt like God said, here you go.
Yep.
Here's what
You
you've
were
been looking
ready.
for. Yeah.
You were ready. And
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
ready to
ready.
hold it too. You want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure, like, when you're looking for something that you're looking for change, are you ready to
Mm.
hold what he's giving you?
Right, that's right.
And you totally
But you
were.
don't want to be. I mean, you don't want something you can't hold.
Yeah.
Like that's true. That's like the capacity,
Yeah.
the
Like, and
capacity
feeling
to be
like you're
able to do it.
deserving of it, and like
Right.
yeah, you deserve it, and you do. Like,
Hmm.
you step fully into that, which a lot of people
Yeah.
revert, what you were using earlier, revert back, and they kind of that's where people stay in their old patterns and their old behaviors and old narratives and old thought processes.
Right. Yeah.
You were like, no, I'm here, I'm ready to go.
Oh,
So,
thanks. Yeah. The
yeah.
struggle now is opening up. I'm so self-driven that I want to have deeper connections with community now.
Mm,
And so this is learning how to stay me in the driver's seat and allowing community in at a different level than this one-on-one coach, and like just opening up more. I that's it's coming. I can feel it. And having a good experience around it and always staying uh, kind of realistic and positive at the same time about it.
yeah,
I live in a small town, and finding connection, in person has been challenging,
sure. Totally.
you know?
In terms of, like, you recognize your energy, and you recognize how you're driven, and you recognize where you stand in your thoughts and your power, and then you may be
Hmm.
walking next to someone or running into someone that isn't yet on the path that you've already walked.
Yes.
Is that what you're
Yes. And
saying
to
in terms
not,
of?
yes. And then to be in that place of, like staying in that space of, sure, I love what I love, but it doesn't mean everybody's going to love what I love.
Yeah,
But there is this part of me that's like, I really want to connect with people that are the same way. But that's what the retreats, and I go to the retreats, I really get that, full on. I get that
totally.
experience where there's like-minded, but I guess it's essentially about like-minded people,
Uh-huh.
being in communities of like-minded people, really.
1000%. When
Hmm.
you are at the energy level where you're at, and vibration and frequency, then you will just then attract more people that are there too
Right.
as well.
Right. And
So,
holding that frequency, it's like that, what we were talking about, creator versus victimhood. Just,
mhm.
anytime you feel that pulling to go back into the mindset of victimhood, to just feel into, like, I'm okay with even utilizing stories like the Cancun story, just to feel into the potential of, a connection with like-minded people. And I know the reason why I desire that is for expansion of myself.
Yep.
It is truly for expansion, growth, and evolution of self. Um, Being around great leaders, being around people who want to, they believe in potential and opportunity and creating their life. That's what I have to keep feeling into, because I'm in an environment where everywhere I look, it seems like it's nowhere to be found, and just consistently trying to hold that frequency, right? And I know it's training. I know this is training
Yep.
for me to stay in the frequency of believing and feeling and sensing and knowing that it's possible. Just don't force anything, allow it, and it's just a constant state of that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Solid energy. When you mentioned at the beginning that when you first started Warrior Babe, and you were on that first couple month like journey, you were very confident, right? And you know that this is where you're meant to be, and you knew that you would succeed. What gave you that confidence?
It was Dr. Joe's work, truly. It really, really was.
Yeah.
Um, but I it's the mind shift into creator that had happened, through the work of Dr. Joe. It really came on strong about a year into the work with him. I was meditating 2 to 3 hours a day. First thing in the morning, I was getting up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, meditating because I wanted to start my day. I did not, I started to read some of his books, and I was like, no, it's his interviews that I want. No, so I joined the progressive and intensive course online, and I was just consuming it. And it just started to make sense to me. And I just was like, oh, you've been walking around the victim of your life, and you don't even know that these feelings that you're feeling are habitual, giving your body these little hits of victimhood that and it's trying to protect you. So it's trying to keep you in the same space. It's like just continually listening to the work, continue and shifting into that. It felt like overnight. I know it wasn't, because I had to put the work in, but all of a sudden, I would tell my husband I'd be doing these meditations. They're called Blessing of the Energy Centers. I loved those.
Uh-huh.
But as soon as I would try to do manifestation, in the beginning I was like, what is going on? I'm not, there's nothing, I cannot think of anything I want to manifest. Like, it's just like, I'm stuck. So I just like was tuning into the body. And I think that was me getting acclimated and comfortable with my systems of my body and
Mm-hmm.
tuning in and listening to it. And then
Mm-hmm.
suddenly I was able to feel when my body was saying yes or no, you know? And so I just shifted into creator out of victimhood. And it took some time. It really did.
Yeah. To pull
Hmm.
back that a little bit more with what gave you the confidence, because you said it there, is that you did the work. Like you did the
Hmm.
work of let me take on manifestation, let me take on like changing my thoughts into more supportive ones that are going to help me be the creator of my life. Like that is what's required to give you, because like people will sit back and they will say this is too hard, or eating macros is too hard, or working out is too hard. It's because they haven't truly tried to do the skill required for them to change. And so
Yeah,
you took on the I'm going to do the work, and that's where you gain the where people are so confident is because they've been putting in, they're okay with failing, they're okay with trying, they're okay with doing different things. As you mentioned, you did like one meditation, but the other one you couldn't do yet, but you kept going. Like that is what I firmly like hear from you, is that's what gave you the confidence to
for
know
sure.
that this program is going to be successful for you,
For sure.
because you're like, I'm
For
going to do
sure.
the work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's
So
like there's so many people that think, kind of there's a community of people that think like don't do anything, it just happens for you. Well, you know, not quite like that. As soon as you align to the yes, I call it the big yes, everything else is worth it. All the
yeah,
work, all the action, it's worth it because you
yeah,
got your eye on the prize. It's like on the prize, and you're capable. There's a lot of intricate details inside of there, but it's really just putting in the work and really consuming information and books and stuff on what you want to become. Read about
hmm,
people that have inspired you, because that's why I stayed confident, is because they did it, so can I just got to
yeah,
figure out how. And
yes,
that's why I want to be the testimony of the unthinkable, because it's like I want to do the unthinkable so that more people will dream bigger for themselves and go, wow, she did that. What? And so
yeah,
there's not much I don't think that we are capable of as human beings, honestly. I truly believe
yeah.
we are capable of great things. I really do.
100%, absolutely. You can
And of
do
course, in
everything.
Dr. Joe's work, I see some seriously amazing, miraculous things happen. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He's done incredible things. I follow him too. I'm reading the habit of breaking, or the breaking the habit of being yourself, which
Yeah,
is
that's a
such a
good
good
one.
book. Yeah.
It's
Such a
a
good book.
great book. Yeah.
So let's talk about your journey with where you're at now since joining Warrior Babe. Like, where are you with the results? What are some of your top achievements that you've had? Share that with us.
Oh my gosh. I wrote some down because it's like I've lost 18 pounds, which, pounds, okay, but 4 inches in my waist in
Let's
11
go.
months, 2.5 inches in my hips. Sarah's always like, I'm going to put you on stage. I mean, I'm seriously going to put you on stage. You could walk out there right now and they wouldn't question it, you know?
Yeah, I saw your
That's what she
before and
says.
afters, and I was like, what? You look
I
incredible.
knew, I knew she was under there. I knew she was in there. And
Yep.
to say, like, I look in the mirror and the whole thing, I just love myself for what I've done.
Good,
I
you
am
should.
just, I'm amazed at the results are, like I said, beyond what I could even have dreamed. And it's not over. Me and Sarah are talking about composition now, and let's gain a booty and let's grow some legs and
Heck yeah.
let's get some delts. Let's, get that waistline, like it just seems like the sky's the limit to me, honestly.
And for somebody that is listening to this right now that's 50 years old, hearing your goals, a 50-year-old that may be listening to this, may be sitting in the position of where like, I'm going through menopause and the doctor told me that this is just like life and what happens. And what would you say to her?
No, don't listen to that. Do not listen to that. It's not true. And it doesn't matter, like I said earlier, start with the doable yes. I don't care. If you're sitting around in your chair, get up and move. I mean, that's a shift. That's a change.
Hmm.
If you're used to like getting on Instagram in the evening or, like after work or whatever, go for a walk. Just small changes. It's just a little
Totally.
changes. It's not, it's just little steps. It's the journey. It's like this. It's possible. And it's going to be bigger than you even imagined when you say yes. When you know, saying yes equals I know I can. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I know I can and I will. And
Facts.
that's yeah, it's
Love that.
possible. Yeah.
How does it feel to finally have a program that sticks, to have a coach that understands you, and to you're gaining knowledge that's going to be able to sustain you for life in health and fitness and mindset
It's
too as well?
it's a huge gift. It's a gift from the universe. It's a gift from God. It truly is. Like it couldn't be it's like the perfect package. But there's this thing, like I can see that I had to have all these experiences that told me what I liked and what I didn't like. And then when it was time and I could hold the capacity of it, right? The perfect, it's out there. What you're looking for is out there. And that's
Hmm.
Warrior Babes for me. It was this perfect little box with the perfect little wrapping and a perfect little red bow and at a perfect time in my life. And I love the feeling of being in the driver's seat and having support. That's that's it to me.
Amen.
As a woman who is not the same as a man in terms of my makeup, my chemistry, my bio, it's not the same. And so I need I need knowledgeable people that I can come and say, you know what? I'm not sleeping like I was. Just suddenly, all of a sudden, and they know what to say, they know what to ask, and boom, 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 try this. And generally it works. Like it really does, you know? And
100%. If you
yeah,
work it, which you are, which is awesome.
thanks.
If you Actually, I think we kind of already talked about that. I was gonna say, if you never made the change that you did with opting in, choosing Warrior Babe, where do you think you'd be today? Like, and then how does that make you feel?
Well, I know that I would be a little further along the line, but I would still be kind of feeling like I'm hitting my head against a brick wall. That's what I believe.
Mhm.
Like I would still be doing, I would not stop. I know myself. I would keep trying because I know it's possible. Yet if I hadn't found Warrior Babes, it would have been I don't know of any other program that focuses on women over 40 personally. You know, there's books, there's interviews you can watch. There's, you know, but to have that one-on-one
Mhm.
week by week, somebody's looking at your numbers, looking at your weight, looking at, you know, just looking at it and saying, this is what we're going to do. Let's tweak it here. And the beauty, like the gift of relaxing into it and letting them, you know, through that first half, like I think if I didn't have the data I had prior to coming in, that's what I would have, like, I would have loved that piece where it's like, I don't have to know what macros, just tell me. I
Mhm.
don't have to have the workout. Here it is. And I'm just going to go do exactly what I'm told, and I will see results every single time. And
Love that.
that's what I think is the benefit of somebody that's really just starting on this journey that doesn't have any data or any information at all. That's why
Totally.
Warrior Babes would be fantastic among a million other things. But like you can relax into it and know that your guidance is going to lead you to where you want to be. That's what I
Mhm.
think about
Love
Warrior
that.
Babes.
Where are you in terms of how many days are you working out now, and how much food are you eating now?
Okay. Oh gosh. Let's see. Okay. I'm working out, lifting 5 days. Slight low intensity steady state cardio, 20 to 40 minutes every day. She has me doing it every day. I'm eating 80 carbs, 50 fat, and 155 protein right now. I'm on the last
Why?
bit. I'm on the last bit.
Why 80 carbs, 50 fat?
That's what she's got me set at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How many
Uh,
calories is that in total?
I
Top of your
hardly
head?
ever look. I hardly ever look at the calories. I'm always looking at the macros. Uh,
What phase are you in right now?
it's 100. It's 1390 on the calories. We're
13.
getting ready to shift into. We're taking it week by week, is what she said, because I'm like, I keep telling her, I'm here. Let's get all we can out of it. And she's watching, and she's looking, she's watching the weight fluctuation. And I think personally, and she's letting me feel into it. I'm like, I think I'm only going to do 80 carbs for 1 week. I'm going to be like, okay. I think this is, because I'm feeling into, I'm day 2 of the 80 carbs right now. And I think it, I think my body's saying, let's go up a little bit. And so, huh?
I was just curious in terms of why did you guys want to try that out? I'm curious in
Because it was
terms of
me.
it
I was
was.
saying I want to juice this. Yeah, I want to juice it for all that I can. I'm not wanting to get on stage, and I'm not wanting to, but I just want to see what it's like to hit 80 carbs for a week. I just want to know
I
what that
love
feels like,
that.
how it affects my body,
Yeah,
and if I actually see any real drastic change, or what are the effects of that. I'm kind of an experience kind of person. It's like I won't know until I experience it, and
100%.
so I don't know.
No, I respect that. Like you're playing around to see what changes you feel with your body given certain external like nutrition tweaks or even if you were doing any training tweaks just to understand how your body operates, which is like
That's how I always am,
that's
constantly in everything I
amazing.
do.
That's how
Yeah.
you get more in control. Like you are in the driver's seat
Hmm.
as you're mentioning, but like you're
Hmm.
now even in more control with understanding how because everyone's body is different.
Yeah.
And you understanding that from a high level is will give you more insight onto, hey, this does work or this doesn't work for you.
Right. And
Yeah.
I'm already feeling like, okay, a week of this is enough. I can
Yeah.
tell, and I'm starting to. It's not really affecting my sleep. Like that's the other thing. I have a ring that tells me how my sleep is. It's not affecting my sleep. I'm staying in good, I'm staying hydrated. I'm eating enough protein. I'm eating. And in this phase, I'm making sure I'm eating real food, not
Yeah.
just, like it's not like I want, I'm eating chicken breast, I'm eating shrimp, I'm eating salmon, I'm eating things, not trying to get, fill in some protein with some, protein powder here, or, there's a new product. I absolutely love it. I love it. It's one up. It's a clear protein, but it tastes like lemonade. It's like these little treats that I let myself have, And
Yes.
but this week, not so much. I'm really trying to hit it just to see. I just want to know how my
Yeah.
body responds. Yeah.
That's
Uh-huh.
awesome. I love that. What would you, so we're going to start to wrap up this interview. I thank you so much for like your time and for sharing your
Oh,
story. And
thanks. Yeah, thank you.
yeah. What would
Yeah.
you say to someone right now that feels like lost and tired of trying everything and they're just unsure of taking a next step? What would you say to them in terms of how like Warrior Bay would be able to make an impact into their life?
It makes your life so much easier. For me, that's what it did. You don't have to try anymore in terms of trying to figure out what is best for you. They
Mm-hmm.
will know, and they will lead you. And let them take the wheel and just do what you're told. And then eventually you're going to start picking up, knowing how to do it. And then, they're still going to be in your corner. They're still going to have your back. And there's never an end game to it, ever. You'll
Amen.
reach a milestone and then you'll want to set a new one. And you do. And Sarah is working with me. I got here and I could tell she was hesitant, like, okay, if you want to, let's do this. It's like, if you want to do 80 carbs, let's do it. I think you could do it. And that's what I love about her. She knows me
Yeah,
well enough to know that, like, I'm going to listen if it's not for me. But anyway, let them take the wheel and do what they say in the beginning. That's what Warrior Babes can do for you.
I love that.
You can
And
trust
I,
it. Yeah.
yep, trust the process. We say trust us now, believe us later.
Yes,
That
that's
is our
it.
motto.
Yep, that's right.
Well, I think that your story has been so profound in realizing that and remembering that real transformation. It started with one decision with you, with one decision to show up, to do the work, to say yes and to trust yourself that you are fully capable of doing whatever you put your mind to, and you were ready to do that. And I think
Yeah.
that it's a good reminder for those listening to this. It's like you have this thought that you can achieve or that you want to do something, and there's an opportunity that will come your way once you sit with it and just say yes to it. Because you didn't just
Yeah.
change your body, you built a lifestyle that fuels your confidence, that fuels your strength, and your long-term success as you're navigating and learning all these things for yourself so that you can pursue it long term. And if anybody's listening to this right now, like if you guys are waiting for the perfect moment, this is it. This is your
Now.
perfect moment to say yes.
Mhm.
Start today, see what's possible. You can achieve anything that you put your mind to. And Amber, your story definitely is a pillar of reminding everybody that they
Mm.
can.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for being
Thank
here
you.
and sharing that story. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It means a
Yeah,
lot.
of
Yeah.
course. Keep crushing it.
I will.
You still have
I
a month
definitely
left
will.
in your first year and you're going for your second year, right?
Yep, I
Yeah,
sure am. I
good
told my
job.
husband, there's no negotiating. I'm doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I
Good
know.
stuff.
No.
Awesome.